All right, so we have here, for the first time ever, as a debut, Princess Matilda. She is the Wilber Czech Princess for 2000-2001, but COVID happened, and so she should reign next year. Do you want to say hi?
Hey.
I'm Sandra Koll. I work at Doane. I am the Director of Advancement Data Services, and I'm also Matilda's mother. I am wearing Croy from Eleanor Hauser, which is a friend of Doane. She is my husband's late aunt, great aunt, and Matilda is wearing Croy that her grandmother made her, and all of her cousins match, and so it's really fun. And so today we're going to make kolaches, and this is Matilda's first time ever making kolaches, and so you guys can learn along with her. My take on kolaches is a little bit modern. It's not very super traditional. And so, so I will kind of tell you about different ways that you can make kolaches without feeling the stress of being traditional. And so we'll start out with, I'm trying to be a little bit TV-ish, so we got a batch ready to for the next phase. But we're gonna make some dough first. We're gonna make just a basic dough. It basically any kolache dough can be made with any dough that has egg and butter in it. Okay. So, and instead of butter, you could use lard or you could use Crisco. Okay. But basically, if it's egg and butter dough, then you can use it for that. You can use it for cinnamon rolls. You can use it for buns. And so Matilda's been busy baking this summer, and she's been learning her way around the kitchen this summer, which has been amazing. We'll see. She's gonna know what to do here. So we're gonna start out with just this bun recipe that I got. We're gonna start out with doing. Oh, and I want to say that this recipe, if you use this one, you can use whatever recipe you want to use if it has egg and butter in it, basically. But so if you have a bread machine recipe, this one does work really good in the bread machine. We made it before in the bread machine. You can use a refrigerated bread dough. Your great-great-grandmother's recipe that we use and Grandma uses all the time is a refrigerated one, and it has the potato flakes in there. When recipes have the potato flakes in there, basically, what the potato flakes does for it is it makes it like more shelf stable, kind of. I see. So it lasts longer. So that's kind of a nice thing. You could also, grandma's is a great-grandma, the great-great-grandma's, your great-great-grandma's is a little bit of a sweet dough. So you could, if you have a sweet dough recipe that you wanted to, you could use that too. So what we're going to start out with is we're going to do the flour. You're going to need 3.5 cups of flour. So go ahead and put that in our bowl here. While you do that, I'm going to get some lukewarm water. Your water temperature, you're going to want it basically at like 105 degrees, 105. Okay. So you need 3/4. Now this is kind of a funny recipe because it tells you have different choices. You have 3/4 of a cup of water in the summertime and 1 cup of water in the wintertime. And so that's kind of fun, but that's kind of the way it goes with recipes. I actually like it with the 1 cup, even though it's summertime, because it makes it just a little bit less stiff. So we'll go with 1 cup of water. So with that, now you go ahead and put in 1/4 a cup of sugar. Okay, so now we're putting in the 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. So go ahead and do that. I got you a teaspoon, 1. So 1 1/4. And then we will do 1 large egg. Our eggs, whenever you bake, they always say to have eggs at room temperature. And also at room temperature is they want your butter. So we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and grab that white knife out of there. And Our yeast is the kind of yeast that you don't have to dissolve in water first. So that's why we're not dissolving it in water. So whichever yeast you have, you do what the container says. But we can just put it straight in here. So it's just 1 tablespoon of yeast. I'll just put that right in there. Well, now you can pour the water in. Go ahead and pour the water in, and then you can stir it up. And this is a nice kind of recipe because it's easy to make by hand. So you can just stir it around. Okay. You can see here that it's coming together. All right, so we got the yeast, the salt, the sugar, the flour, the egg, and the butter, and the water. And that's all that there is in this, okay? And we'll start kneading this now that it's combined. So we will just put it right on our countertop. And it doesn't feel too sticky, so I think we can put it right on the countertop and start kneading it. Get that butter incorporated into it. Let's see. When we make our, so this is gonna rise. Once we get this kneaded to a nice consistency, we're gonna let it rise, and it will rise for about an hour. Okay. And basically once it's doubled in bulk. So we're gonna use the refrigerated dough that we have that I made last night for phase 2 here. So basically what you get is, when you do refrigerated dough, you basically get to this stage, and then you stick it in the refrigerator overnight, and you don't have to wait for the hour for it to rise. And so now we're going to take this refrigerated dough, and it's really cold because it was in the fridge. And with clean hands, we're going to take it and we're gonna measure out like 2 ounces on here. So that is 1.5, and that's like 2. So this dough is just a little bit sticky. Oops. And so you can just grease up.
Me?
So to make it into a ball, so this isn't a bad ball, and this would be fine. If you wanted to skip this whole phase of making it, you could do the frozen dough, like the Rhodes dough. We don't ever buy it, but so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it and you're gonna fold it back. So you just take a little bit of it and you fold it to the middle. Okay, so what you do is, let me measure here. Okay, so yeah, so I just kind of took, because it's sticky a little, and if dough's sticky, it's better to put grease on your hands than to put more flour in the dough. Do you know why?
Why?
Too much flour makes it taste really dried out.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and so you bring it around, you just kind of stretch it, and then you lift it up and put it there, and then you got that, and then you can just kind of.
What does this do for the dough?
Good question. So it forms a nice ball. And so then it's kind of nice when they bake. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it makes them a little bit softer.
It does.
So if you wanted less, you could, if you didn't want them to touch and you wanted, the good edge all the way around. So I'm kind of liking these more at the 1.5 than closer to the 2. So Matilda's favorite kolache is a apricot, and so is her grandpa's. And so my favorite kolache is cottage cheese, and she's never even heard of cottage cheese, have you? And so I told her we were gonna make cottage cheese kolaches, and she was kind of surprised because she didn't know that was a thing. But it is a thing, and it's good. And so we're gonna make that from scratch. And we also bought some poppy seed because we both like poppy seed. That's like our second favorite. Well, what we forgot to do was grease these, but we did have grease on our hands. And so we could kind of skip this because they are looking very shiny. So you could put a towel over this. You could put saran wrap over this. I will just put a cover over it, and we'll let it rise in a warm place. All right, well, we're back now. So these have risen. What we're gonna do is we still have a little bit of grease here. So just get your two-piece fingers, a little bit greasy. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these and you're gonna be in the middle, okay? And you're gonna take them and just kind of work your way out, but leaving a rim around it like a pizza. And you don't want to expose the bottom. If you wanted to, instead of doing this, you could take a greased container. So you could take a greased juice cup and just punch it.
That works.
And so that's the way to do it. Those look good.
Good.
Okay. Ready to do the other tray?
Yep.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. You're doing good. Okay, so she's gonna finish up those, and I'm gonna open up a can of poppy seed pie filling. So this is poppy seed cake and pastry filling for incredible desserts. So this, I don't know that I can find this at Walmart. I know I bought this at Food Mesto, and I don't know that we could find it at Walmart. But you could always buy poppy seeds and cook them down and put sugar in them, and you could always do that.
If you have poppy seeds.
Yeah. So this is thick, right? This is some thick filling. DQ test. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take some, and why don't you grab a bowl for me? We'll just grab a regular bowl, and I'm gonna grab some applesauce. So yeah, so we're taking our poppy seed, cake and pastry filling, and we're just going to spoon it out. So now this is super thick, okay? And so we don't want it to be that thick. And so all we do is we just add some applesauce to it and thin it out. And it's you just kind of wing it. Right now it looks like it's about half. Like 1 part applesauce, 2 parts poppy seed pie. Okay, so if you're going to be making these for just your family only, you could use your finger and just go like this. Right?
We're making it for only our family.
And if you were making it for someplace else, then you would use 2 spoons and you would go like that, right?
Yeah.
The key is to not overfill these, and so that probably has just a little bit too much because it's just gonna ooze. Actually, now we need to preheat our oven because these are almost ready to bake. So 375 is what we bake these at. Yeah, finish out that row, and then let's make the apricot ones.
Ooh, yum.
So that's our easiest ones for us today because we bought the tube. So we have a tube of apricot filling, and these are available at Food Mesto. And do you want to do a half and half?
Sure.
We could do your 2 favorites in one.
Yeah.
Should we see if that's any good? Do you think an apricot poppy seed would be any good?
We can try.
You can always try. So, let's see. I'm just kind of pulling some out of these. We may not even need to
Do a half and half.
go half and half, since some of these we can just steal it from them. There's that. And so now with this tube, we cut our corner, and it's just, they call it apricot easy squeeze filling. That's fun. So all you do is you just squeeze it in. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you can
Just 2 rows.
yeah, we'll just do 2 rows of this and this, if you have extra of this stuff, you can just freeze it and save it for next time. So this way, if you wanted to say make 1 batch of dough, but you didn't want to make dozens of kolaches, you could make however many kolaches you wanted to, freeze the rest of the filling that you don't use, and make cinnamon rolls with the rest of it, or make some hamburger buns or whatever. You could do, or you could make some monkey bread or whatever. So, so now we're gonna make the cottage cheese filling. Okay, So this is now, I got some things out here while we were paused to make the cottage cheese kolache filling. Now this recipe I obtained from a former Czech president. So she came to the school, she did a presentation when I was in high school. And so I have kept this recipe because I like it. So we need 8 ounces of cottage cheese. And so we'll just take it on our scale here to get to 8 ounces. And so now what we do, we need to strain it. And so I'm gonna have you take
Bottom of a spoon.
and just kind of mash it.
Stuck to the bottom.
Cool, perfect, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep, and so that will just make it smooth. Yeah, so you can see while she lifted that up that we got some liquid that we're getting out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need 2 egg yolks for this, and we'll save our whites. We can make something with it. Otherwise, if you want to, you can throw it away. Good job.
Thank you.
So this was a lot of work for removing a little bit of some liquid, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna take basically the stuff, Matilda, here that did not go through, and that's what we're gonna keep. So go ahead and take your 2 egg yolks and mix it in here with your cottage cheese mashed up.
Unliquefied cottage cheese.
Unliquefied cottage cheese. That's good. Okay. So we just need 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. So I'm just gonna dump it in there for you while you stir it. Okay. And 2 tablespoons of tapioca, instant tapioca.
What's tapioca?
So tapioca, instant tapioca, there's like a pudding.
I see.
And it's a thickener is what it is.
I see.
And so it's basically like a flavorless thickener.
I haven't ever used it before.
So we got our cottage cheese, we got our 2 tablespoons of tapioca, we got our 1/4 of a cup of sugar, and we got 2 egg yolks. And so now we need to let this set for 5 minutes.
To let the tapioca harden?
Just so that tapioca can swell up and get some moisture out. But so now we have 3 options of extras. So you can add 1/4 of a tablespoon of vanilla. You could do 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice, or you could do 2 tablespoons of raisins with this. Now you'll see this doesn't make a ton, which is kind of nice, so that you don't gotta commit yourself to a whole bunch of cottage cheese if you don't like cottage cheese. We're going to do the 1/4 of a tablespoon of vanilla because I like vanilla. Now this is going to rest for 5 minutes. We're going to work on the crumble topping. So that is 1 tablespoon of oleo, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then enough flour to make a paste, which is about 1/4 of a cup. And so you're gonna mix that together. All right, so that is our tablespoon of lard. We could have probably done a tablespoon of butter. We could have done a tablespoon of oleo, but we have lard. Okay, all right, so now we'll take our 1 teaspoon of sugar, put it right in there, and our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're just gonna go ahead and use one of those spoons that we have right over there. Okay, so now we will add our 1/4 of a cup of flour. And what this will do is it will actually give you something to mix up with. So I use the back of the spoon and push the lard into kind of we're making a crumble topping, so obviously this is gonna be really crumbly, right? So, I don't know if you can see that, TV world, and that looks perfect. And that means that our cottage cheese is set.
It does look different.
Yep, so that's right. So our cottage cheese has set for 5 minutes, and now it's a lot thicker than it was. And so now we can finish up this process, can't we? Because I think our oven just preheated too. And this cottage cheese filling is probably yellower than it might be for you because we got our own chickens that have really yellow yolks. So
Perfect amount.
all you do for the crumble topping is you sprinkle around. Now these look kind of silly because this filling is so like, it's very stiff.
It looks different.
But once it bakes, it will ooze down into what you're used to seeing. Actually, I'm gonna put a little bit more flour in there because it's a little bit too sticky for me. So a little bit more flour. So.
Different.
So we have not yet greased these again. We could do a milk around it. We could do an egg yolk and milk. We could do a whole egg, or we could just do some vegetable oil. And so we'll take our pastry brush again and we will coat those. I'm gonna let you do crumb topping here.
Is that a good amount?
You can do more. And what should we do? What do you want to do for the outside?
Let's do milk and egg.
Milk and egg together? Okay, so then we'll just do the egg yolk. So now we're gonna do another egg yolk we'll break up. And we could have done it before. We could have done this before the filling went on at all. And that probably would have been easiest because now we're going to have to go around the filling. Now I like crumb topping, so I'm going to say let's throw some more on there. Okay?
Okay.
There you go, yeah.
Should it be used where we can actually see the topping? Or
That's up to the cook. Okay.
bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay. So we have our yolk right here, okay? And then we're going to, I'm just going to mix it up a little bit here. And now we're going to put some milk in there. And this will help make it so it has a nice golden brown color to it. So we're just going to go around here and lightly do it. This would have been way easier if I would have done it in the right order. It's good to know that you can mix up the order a little bit, right? Now these then are about ready to go in. So are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now these are gonna bake for 20, 25 minutes. So we will pop them in, then we'll turn on the timer. I'll put these back in here too. And we'll set our timer for 20 minutes. So in just a couple seconds, our oven is going to, the stuff in the oven is going to be done. And this is our dough from earlier that we did ourselves. The two of us did together. And so we're going to do one more round of kolaches. And this time I will let you do it. So we got 15 seconds. Let's get our oven mitts on. All right, so timer's done. We're gonna pull these out and go ahead and set them right here, okay? Okay, look like they could be browned a little bit more. Looks like my oven, I didn't rotate them. Looks like down here they did really good as far as the browning goes. These could have browned a little bit more. Why don't you throw this one in a little bit more, just a little bit longer, put on that side, because those were in while we waited, while we were finishing those up. So we'll get them a little bit darker. And get some greasy fingers. Do you want me to help you or you want to go at it yourself?
I got it.
Okay. She's confident now. Oh, look at her go. Perfect. So now we are gonna brush these. So we have a little bit of cottage cheese left over from our first batch. I think we can get 2 of them out of it only. So I'm just gonna do that. And then you wanted to finish them up with apricot, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do this. Was that fun? Okay. So to finish this up, we're doing the crumble topping. Again, the flour sugar crumble. And we'll sprinkle it on. Do you want to do that, or you want me to finish it up?
You can do it.
So we should take a picture of these before we eat them.
Probably.
Fancy. All right, there they are. So these are your first homemade kolaches ever. You did good.
Thank you.
They look good. So we got here the poppy seed, the apricot, and the cottage cheese. You want to go halvesies on all of them?
Sure.
Should we do that?
Why not?
Let's see if they cut up nice. So this isn't the right way to eat a kolache though, is it?
No.
What's the right way to eat a
You
kolache?
eat around the edge and then you eat the middle.
No!
That's what I do.
What? No, you gotta eat around the edge and you eat a little bit of the middle at a time. And so that they're all equally portioned out. That's the way I eat it.
That's not the way I do it.
I guess there's no right way to eat a kolache then, is there?
I guess not. Well, while you're eating around the edge, you have to leave that little bit of edge so you can still hold it.
Oh, you leave a handle.
Yeah, like this, here.
That's a disgrace. But now you have a crust and no filling bite. You look like you're enjoying it anyways.
I am.
Hmm.
It's worth it because you have that one completely filling bite.
So thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye. You saw that, Mike? Oh yeah. All right, Mike, this is me being totally fancy. Crescent rolls, not croissants, crescent rolls. So edit that out. Thanks, Mike. Error number 1. Okay. She's not very, what should I call you? Well, edit this out too, Mike. All right, we're back, Mike. Thanks for waiting for us. Okay, Mike. Okay, so.
I don't know if I put in 2 or 3.
2 or 3 what?
Cups.
You lost count?
Yeah.
Well, good thing we recorded it. Let's go back and look.
Okay.
All right, Mike, we're gonna edit this part out too. Just a second.
Still pause.
We're still paused, Mike. Still paused, Mike. Hope you're enjoying this video. We will put it into our balls. So now it is time for the ball phase, and so we're like, if you wanted to, that's a decent ball, you know, like.
Guys, look!
Hey, we're recording in here, okay? So let's be quiet, please.
Look!
All right, just a second, Mike. What is it?
What is it, Franklin?
We're back. Okay, that was something cool that we found. All right, so we have our go ball. So, you like that? I was wondering if you were gonna get to that. Okay, so.
Imagination.
All right, Mike, we're just about ready here.
I guess we can hear Dad in the video.
Okay, so pause that, Mike. All right. So, hey, Mike, we're back. Never make dough on a cloudy day, right, Matilda?
Yikes.
And it's cloudy. Should we watch it? We'll pause it and watch it.